Reasons why Roman Reigns attacked the Vision on WWE Raw. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jennifer. Have a nice day. For the anoa'i family latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Thank you. Yuri Zero Raw concluded with chaos as Seth Rollins and his Vision faction overwhelmed Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and LA Knight in a dramatic showdown. The chaos began when the best in the world interrupted Rollins' match against the megastar. Shortly after, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed arrived to attack Punk and Knight, joining forces with Rollins. When Roman Reigns tried to balance the situation, he was overpowered by the group. This article looks at 3 possible reasons why Reigns decided to attack the Vision on Monday Night Raw. Rollins and Reigns have a long history stemming from their time in the Shield. Although Roman and Jey Uso defeated Breaker and Reed at SummerSlam Night 1, he hasn't yet faced Rollins directly. This could have been a strategic move by Reigns to provoke a match with Rollins by targeting his entire faction. When Rollins eventually returns to singles competition, we may see a high-profile clash between the two. With Roman Reigns reportedly stepping away from WWE due to Hollywood obligations, this storyline could be WWE's way of explaining his absence. During the Raw segment, Breaker, Reed, and Rollins overwhelmed Reigns in a dominant fashion. Reed's signature move added to the spectacle, symbolizing the end of Reigns' current run. For now. Rollins' strength lies not just in his skill, but also in his strong faction. That's how they were able to overpower both CM Punk and LA Knight simultaneously. Roman might have intervened to level the playing field, but instead found himself outnumbered. As a result, he became another casualty of the Vision's growing dominance. Now, WWE appears to be moving toward a CM Punk versus LA Knight versus Seth Rollins triple threat match, possibly at Clash in Paris, the next premium live event. When Reigns returns, fans may finally witness a full-on feud between him and Rollins. Rollins kicked off Raw after SummerSlam just as it ended Night 1, smiling with his group and holding the World Heavyweight Championship. Meanwhile, Becky Lynch found a new challenger in Nikki Bella. Dominic Mysterio got surprise support from 3 masked allies against Dragon Lee. Gunther was announced to be out indefinitely due to facial injuries sustained in his match with Punk. WWE made several questionable booking decisions on this Raw episode. One staple of post-PLE Raw episodes is the surprise return or debut. Brock Lesnar's return in 2012 is a prime example. However, this time no major names showed up. A surprise debut, like Ricky Saints or a new NXT female star, could have shaken things up. Reigns' intermittent appearances have become a recurring pattern, especially after big matches. He's written off through storylines as seen after WrestleMania 41 and again following SummerSlam. Though this may be less of an issue now that he isn't champion, it's become predictable. If WWE is going to run rematches from PLEs on Raw, they need to mix things up. For instance, the women's tag title defense by Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair against Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez felt nearly identical to their last match. The only change was a brief miscommunication between Bliss and Flair, which didn't significantly affect the match flow. Though Roman and Jey picked up a key win over Reed and Breaker at SummerSlam, only Roman showed up on Raw. In their ongoing back and forth, one usually saves the other. But this time, Jey was absent during Roman's confrontation with Rollins and his group, raising questions about their bond. LA Knight made his return on Raw after missing SummerSlam. While it was great to see him back, his match with Rollins felt like filler. Despite his popularity, Knight still hasn't won a major title. Facing Rollins just 2 days after a title change made it unlikely for him to win, and further extended the trend of near misses in his career. The CM Punk interference and Roman Reigns' exit storyline were clearly designed to escalate Rollins' current arc. However, some moments, like Knight's return and the tag title match, felt like missed creative opportunities. WWE might need to refresh its approach going forward to keep things unpredictable and exciting for fans. A WWE veteran has come up with a new name for Roman Reigns following the events of tonight's edition of Raw. Hurricane Helms, a WWE backstage producer, posted a lighthearted message on X after Bronson Reed once again took Reigns' shoes. On Raw tonight, Reigns came out after the main event to confront Seth Rollins' faction. However, He was overwhelmed by the group and lost another pair of shoes, courtesy of Bronson Reed. Shortly after the show ended, Netflix Sports X handle posted a video of Roman Reigns, shoeless. WWE producer Hurricane Helms responded to the clip and jokingly gave Reigns a new nickname. On night 1 of SummerSlam 2025, Reigns and Jey Uso teamed up to take on Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. In the end, Reigns and Jey secured a big win over their rivals. Many fans believe WWE is building toward a major showdown between Reigns and Seth Rollins at next year's WrestleMania. The two have a long history as both allies and adversaries, and a WrestleMania match between them is expected to draw major attention. This week's edition of WWE Monday Night Raw focused heavily on the aftermath of the two-night SummerSlam event. Fans were eager to see how the Red brand would follow up on several major developments: Seth Rollins becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion, Cody Rhodes reclaiming the undisputed WWE Championship, and the return of Brock Lesnar. However, only one of those major names, Seth Rollins, appeared. Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes were both absent. Still, there were several highlights on Raw. That said, some concerns emerged regarding the physical condition and availability of certain performers moving forward. This article explores both the standout and more concerning moments from Raw. One of the biggest stories involved a new masked figure and the ongoing strength of the tag team division. Gunther did not appear on Raw. The ring general competed in a grueling match at SummerSlam Night 1 against CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. The match was intense and physically demanding for both men. In the end, Punk won after delivering several of his signature finishers. On Raw, Michael Cole revealed that Gunther suffered an orbital injury during the match. His absence is a major loss for the brand, as he's considered one of the top in-ring talents in the world today. Dominic Mysterio also competed on Raw, going one-on-one with Dragon Lee in a highly athletic contest. Just when it seemed Lee had the upper hand, unexpected interference from multiple masked figures calling themselves El Grande Americano turned the tide. Lee was caught off guard, and Dominic capitalized to win the match. There is speculation that the masked wrestlers could be Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. Alongside Ludwig Kaiser, their return to regular TV time is exciting, and a feud with the Latino World Order could be compelling. Raw was packed with strong storytelling in the women's tag division. The Judgment Day's Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez took on Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair in a memorable match. Backstage, Io Sky and the Kabuki Warriors had a tense exchange. Rhea Ripley interrupted them, and Asuka mysteriously left with Kairi Sane. IYO then announced that she would be challenging Naomi for the Women's World Championship next week on Raw. Later, Becky Lynch made her entrance with a new theme song and was confronted by Nikki Bella. The two exchanged sharp words, touching on personal matters including their past relationships. The women's division continues to feature some of the most engaging rivalries in WWE right now. The Vision has officially arrived. Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman now appear to be an established faction. In the final segment of the show, the group dominated LA Knight, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns. In a recurring gag, Bronson Reed once again took Roman's shoes, reinforcing the group's strong heel presence. There is some concern, however. The segment ended with Reigns being overwhelmed by a series of finishing moves. This may have been a way to write him off television, possibly due to injury or outside obligations. If both Reigns and Gunther are absent from Raw simultaneously, it could significantly impact the show, moving D. The August 4th episode of WWE Raw began with Seth Rollins celebrating his controversial World Heavyweight Championship win at SummerSlam, where he cashed in Money in the Bank on CM Punk after pretending to have a knee injury. Rollins' promo was interrupted when LA Knight made a surprise return to challenge him for the title. Though Rollins initially declined, Adam Pearce later made the match official and banned Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker from ringside. The main event between Rollins and Knight lived up to the hype until CM Punk stormed the ring and confronted the champion, resulting in a disqualification. Knight tried to separate them, but the situation escalated when Braun Breaker suddenly appeared with a powerful spear. Big Bronson Reed joined shortly after, and the faction now known as The Vision overwhelmed both Knight and Punk. Roman Reigns then entered the ring, briefly turning the tide before the numbers overwhelmed him too. Reed landed multiple tsunamis before removing Reigns' shoes the second time he's done so in recent weeks. The show ended with the Vision standing tall in the ring. Afterward, Louisiana Knight and CM Punk continued arguing as officials tried to separate them. Roman Reigns refused assistance, slowly leaving the arena looking drained and worn down. Will Reigns get retribution on the Vision for the attack and the stolen sneakers, or is this just the beginning of a larger war? Seth Rollins, now World Heavyweight Champion, declared his dominance and his challengers didn't stay quiet. The night unraveled into chaos with CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and others joining the conflict. Rollins kicked off Raw alongside Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. The group, now officially known as The Vision, stood united. Rollins admitted he faked a knee injury to lower his opponent's guard and create an opportunity to cash in at SummerSlam. "I wanted my enemies to drop their guard," Rollins said, explaining how the strategy cleared his path to the championship. The tactic worked, but backlash quickly followed, especially from LA Knight. Knight didn't appear at SummerSlam, but returned to Raw determined to earn a title shot. Though Rollins tried to dodge the challenge, GM Adam Pearce stepped in and set the match. He also barred Breaker and Reed from ringside to ensure fairness. As the main event between Rollins and Knight unfolded, CM Punk rushed the ring before the match ended, sparking a massive brawl involving Breaker, Reed, and eventually Roman Reigns. With the ringside ban voided due to interference, Breaker and Reed entered. Knight and Punk were outnumbered. Rollins took advantage, delivering his finishing move on both opponents. When things seemed to settle, Roman Reigns charged into the fray. Even Reigns couldn't stop the Vision. Despite his strength, the numbers proved too much. The show closed with Rollins standing tall over 3 downed rivals, a statement of his dominance. AJ Styles was seen backstage with the Judgment Day, complimenting Dominic Mysterio's SummerSlam performance, but reminding him that the Intercontinental title remains his goal. Sheamus versus Rusev ended in a double countout after their match spilled to the outside and couldn't be contained. Grayson Waller confronted the New Day, who wore somber outfits and claimed they weren't in the right mindset. Waller later requested a rematch from Adam Pearce, but was instead booked in a singles match against Penta, which he lost after a tornado destroyer, despite interference from Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. John Cena is set to appear on SmackDown this Friday to address Brock Lesnar's return at SummerSlam. In women's tag team action, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair retained their titles against Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez after a miscommunication led to Perez running into a signature move. Io Sky, backstage with Asuka and Kairi Sane, declined their offer to help reclaim her title. Rhea Ripley encouraged Io to defeat Naomi first to set up a future title clash. IYO replied, "Rhea's not beating her," adding more tension to their feud. WWE replayed the women's Intercontinental title match, showing Bayley interfering in Lyra Valkyria's match against Becky Lynch. Later, Valkyria rejected Bayley backstage, saying, "We're not good for each other. Stay out of my life." Dominic Mysterio defeated Dragon Lee in a non-title match thanks to interference from disguised allies. AJ Styles ran in to chase them off post-match. Sami Zayn's interview was interrupted by the Sheamus-Rusev brawl, resulting in Zayn getting accidentally hit and setting up a match for next week. Becky Lynch came out to celebrate her SummerSlam victory, but was interrupted by Nikki Bella, who challenged her to a singles match. Lynch responded with a sharp verbal jab and then blindsided Nikki before walking off. Michael Cole announced that Gunther is out indefinitely due to facial injuries sustained at SummerSlam. Naomi versus IYO. Sky was confirmed for next week's Raw, and Stephanie Vacker warned she'll be ready for Clash in Paris. In a final segment, Natalya confronted Becky Lynch for her ambush on Nikki. Lynch agreed to compete next week, but against Maxine Dupree, not Natalya.